do I not have the right to think that there were two genders and that
you have the right to think that? But what I'm
are
hearing,
true?
Aaron, is that you've gone far right because pronouns make you sad.
Another one for the asylum.
The madness in the United Kingdom, though, especially under this socialist Labour government, seems to have its tentacles in every aspect of life. And I think the Sun's front page today sums that up best. We are now the laughing stock of the world, and I am not exaggerating, because we have a health minister, an ultra woke-topian fool called Ashley Dalton, who believes that humans can identify as llama. I'm not joking. This is how the Sun put it. Sir Keir Starmer's new health minister has been blasted for absurd comments that people can identify as a llama. Ashley Dalton has also said she doesn't believe in gendered toilets, argues women can have a willy, and described Brexit voters as short-sighted and stupid. Her past comments were unearthed on social media as she took over from WhatsApp scandal MP Andrew Gwynn. At the weekend, Ms Dalton's new boss at Labour, Wes Streeting, blasted the NHS for still harbouring woke views and warned it to get back to basics. So, ultra woke Ms Dalton, right? She was once asked if humans can seriously identify as llama. And she replied yes, and added that they should be treated with dignity and respect. Well, good on Lee Anderson, the chief whip of Reform UK, who decided to raise this issue in the manner it was deserved to be raised with the Health Secretary Wes Streeting in Parliament this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, the new Health Minister has stated that it's okay for a human being to present as a llama. So what I want to know is, if I have a family member who presents as a llama, suddenly becomes ill in the middle of the night, do they send for a doctor, a vet, or a straitjacket?
Mr. Speaker, I can just say to the honourable member that my honourable friend, the Minister for Public Health, believes in treating every human being with the dignity and respect they deserve, even the honourable gentleman.
Nick Tenkoni, leader of UKIP, we are a laughing stock.
Yes, we are, Dan. What a day to come on your show. I'm very, very
mad stories.
I'm very, very agitated. You know, we're taking our country back, and I've got the Teflon shoulders. We're taking our country back. But so you've got the new health minister, Ashley Dalton, and it turns out that she's insane. So she needs to be arrested and sectioned, right, for what she's saying in a cabinet position. She needs to be arrested and sectioned. So let's give the British public what they want. She's insane, and she's got a ministerial position. Correct.
Correct.
This is hugely problematic.
And
is it
Starmer
not?
had over 400 MPs, right? And he picked her. So this is on him. He is also insane.
Well, as ever, you ask all the right, good questions. Going back to what you said previously about they hate us, you know, how are we going to save Britain? Obviously, it's a much longer conversation than just one segment, but they do hate us. So to your point, so Starmer's got hundreds to choose from, and he picks this particular individual when it comes to health, which is an incredibly important and broad topic. When it comes to health, she looks nothing like health. She looks nothing like health. That's problem number one. Problem number two is she's insane. Problem number three is why would the PM, leader of Labour, Keir Starmer, why would he appoint her when he could have just as easily? It's to wind us up. Genuinely, I think, Dan, it is so very easy to help the British public out with their mental health, especially those on the right, and to alleviate some of the anxiety, concerns, and depressions. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it to cause outrage. There's no other explanation.
Well, indeed. And this social engineering is also spreading through the mainstream media, who are just as culpable, as you know. And one of my jobs, I feel, is to call out this madness to try and turn people off. And that means sometimes showing the most insane moments. And LBC, which is so tragic. I mean, the fall of LBC is a great media tragedy. This used to be the station of the working classes. This used to be the station of the black cab driver. It's now the station of the insane woke brigade. There's a particularly awful woman who hosts at the weekend called Natasha Devon, and she has now decided that if you believe in two genders, you are far right. Watch this. But first, attention, all the proud, the bold, and the beautifully bald. It's time to elevate your grooming game with the Manscaped Dome Shaver Plus. Designed for precision, comfort, and a flawless finish, this shaver is the ultimate tool for keeping your dome as smooth as your best pickup lines. Whether you're maintaining a sleek style or embracing the shine with confidence, the Dome Shaver Plus has you covered. So head on over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide, including me, who trust Manscaped. You use the code Outspoken at checkout. You'll receive 20% off your entire order and free shipping. But let me tell you about the Dome Shaver Plus. This is an electric shaver that adapts to your head's contours for a smooth shave without the mess and hassle of traditional shaving. So 4 stainless steel skin-safe rotary blades reduce nicks and cuts to deliver a perfectly bald look without uneven hair patches. Now, if you're buying for your husband, or your boyfriend or your brother or your son, this is perfect because it has flex adjust technology, meaning that every blade stays perfectly close to his scalp for a precise finish. And the powerful 8,000 RPM motor delivers effortless shaving performance with less strokes and irritation. Plus, a long-lasting rechargeable battery has up to 60 minutes of runtime. When a charge is needed, you can save time with the 10-minute quick change option. Because the Dome Shaver Plus is waterproof, you can enjoy wet or dry operation too. And the Dome Shaver Plus is ergonomically designed to fit comfortably into your hand and effortlessly navigate every curve of your scalp. With a magnetic blade pad and hair chamber, cleanup is a breeze, making sure your Dome Shaver Plus stays fresh and ready to deliver a smooth shave every time you need it. Grab the Dome Shaver Plus by the handle or palm the blade pad and glide it across your head like you're sweeping away last year's regrets. So go to manscaped.com using the code Outspoken for free shipping and a whopping 20% discount on your entire order. Get the Dome Shaver Plus today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. But now back to the show.
One of them was male and the other one was female.
But Aaron, when you do science, as you know, when you get to A-level, you learn that some of the things you learned at GCSE weren't true or you were taught it in a reductive way. When you get to degree, you learn that some of the things that you learn at A-level were reductive or not quite true. We can argue about whether non-binary people are legitimate. I happen to think that they are. But how does it affect your life, their existence? How does it negatively affect you?
Because I personally don't want to broaden my language where I don't want to be. I don't want to be inaccurate. I shouldn't be forced to be inaccurate. If I do I not have the right to think that there are two genders and that
you have the right to think that, but what I'm hearing, Aaron, is that you've gone far right because pronouns make you sad.
And I mean, this is the woman who appeared on LBC previously, Nick Tenconi, with the trans pride flag on her cheek. So she's an activist. She's not a journalist. Fine. You know, it's okay for there to be activists who appear on the radio. That is fine. But what isn't okay is for her to brand a caller who simply believes in biological reality as far right. What do you make of it?
Again, another one for the asylum. So you've been very kind and you've said she's an activist and not a journalist. It's a very clever line, which I've always been quite inspired by because it helps with our mindset and our thinking on the right. In the age of psychological warfare and far left totalitarian propaganda, it's actually very difficult. The communists are very clever. It's actually very difficult, especially if you're boomer conservative raised, liberal mindset, live and let live. It's lamb to the slaughter territory. So I do appreciate that. There's the weaponization. You said that she's an activist. It helps us understand it. Let's actually just call it what it is. She's nuts, and she's deliberately agitating. There are two genders, male, XY and female XX. Let's hope I've got that right, because I always get them confused. There's two. And she's now saying, not only is that not true, but you are far right, i.e. a neo-Nazi, pretty much, for having common sense belief. So actually, we live in an extraordinarily fascinating and wonderful time if we seize the opportunity. We are living and breathing like potentially no other time in history because of social media. The communists get to work on making sure that we doubt ourselves and that we hate ourselves. Now, once you understand something, you can control it, you can change it, you can manipulate it, you can do something with it. That's the key point here. I refuse to let the outrage win. Let's look at how psychotic she is and what she's saying and what we can do to better ourselves for it.
What about the label thing, though, Nick? How do you deal with that? Because we're now in a world where the mainstream media are going to declare everyone who votes for the AfD in Germany, right, as far right. Now, they don't label Reform UK as far right. Well, most don't anyway, but they would certainly brand you far right, Tommy Robinson far right. You know, how do we deal with this far right label? Like, is it necessary to almost reclaim it, or do you just say it's rubbish, we don't give a damn what you call us? How? Because this label is now used by the mainstream media, and the idea is to try and freak ordinary people out. So there will be lots of ordinary people who agree with everything you say, but are too scared of being called far right because of the connotations that still holds.
Yeah, so you've that's a huge topic to me. I'll try and answer it as best I can because I don't want to miss anything out. So a lot of people contact me saying, Nick, you're wrong. Start embracing the title. So to your main point, a lot of people contact me saying, embrace it. Absolutely not. I will never be called far right. I will never endorse it ever, because it's not my ideology. And now I'm leader of a national party. Vision and ideology comes first for the party. That's what you have to be held to account on. I am not far right, and I'll never be called it. Let's delve into what you said. What do we do about it? When we were at school, Dan, and we were called names, that's bullying. Well, we all know what happened to bullies when we hadn't lost our minds and we lived in an ordinary, normal time. You deal with bullies. Once bullies are dealt with, they stop being bullies. So it's a very important question. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to have some courage. I wish there was a more sophisticated answer and I could do my little magic wand thing, but there isn't. I didn't want to involve godlessness, but it kind of comes into this. We are paying the price for liberal, secular practice, which was always en route to become live and let live, meek and mild, turn the other cheek. It is a lie. It is absolute nonsense. It is time to fight back. So let's take the workplace. Let's take a train journey, a taxi journey. Let's take your children's school teacher. When these vitriolic attacks, in direct answer to your question, when these attacks are put on ordinary, hardworking citizens, it is time to stand up for yourself. But in my previous point I just mentioned, if you don't understand it, how can you stand up for yourself? If you don't understand the mechanism behind the evil, how can you stand up for yourself? It is called far left totalitarian propaganda. It is designed to demotivate you, demoralize you, and denigrate you. And it is very cleverly thought out. But it ends when you say it ends. And that means understanding that you are in a position of strength. You are in a position of justice and righteousness. For example, in the mega conference in Europe, in the European Union, last week or the week before, I gave my speech and I stood up in a room full of people and I said, it isn't racist to not want your kids to be murdered and raped. It isn't racist or bigoted to not want migrant terrorism on your shores. Standing ovation. Do you see, I'm giving some practical examples to your audience here. It's so important and it's a great question. Lot to unpack.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.